So good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Charles, and this is Cheesy Media. So we're going straight into DJ Switch. The likes of Sowore, Buchi, all are speaking against Buhari. I mean, you know, in the African parlance, they say nobody speaks bad about the dead. But as it stands right now, really, these guys don't care. They spoke really badly about how Buhari, attacks the Southeast, how Buhari made people worse, how he waged war against North Central people in the Benue states, Southern Kaduna, and the likes. In fact, it was just crazy, those words that they spoke. I'm going to bring you all of those that they have said.
Evening. In the last, I don't know, 40, 45 minutes, I've received a number of DMs, yeah? And I've received these DMs because of the story I put on my Instagram page. And one of them read, Be Kind. Another one was talking about Buhari's achievement. He has achieved so much. He lived to a long old age of 82, 83 or something like that. I said, okay, fair enough. But that's why my post said inevitability. It's inevitable. We're all going to die. I know I'm going to die. Either I die by natural causes, or I die by an accident, or I die by something else. It is inevitable. Nothing to really look too deep into that. It's life, right? But the one I want to actually harp on is the achievement. Buhari achieved what? Please. He achieved what? He achieved what? And with what? With our resources? With our money? What did he achieve? Or you don't realize that he lived long because of our resources? Do you know how many people are dying in Nigeria? Do you know how many people are starving in Nigeria because they don't have national cake to steal from? They don't have national cake to go get quality treatment abroad. Please tell me, what did Buhari achieve? And yeah, with all of that stuff, all of the stuff that they've stolen, that they keep stealing, they are less likely to be attacked by police or armed robbers on the road when they are riding around with heavy security. Please tell me what Buhari has achieved, apart from destroying lives and killing Nigerians. I don't need to prove my empathy to anybody, all right? But I do believe that history will always be the real long life. Because when you are a leader and you are not just, you are not fair, you don't lead in service of the people will make a drink and toast to your demise. But when you lead with justice, fairness, when you put your people first and their interests first, the people will cry and mourn. The people will wail. They will remember you forever. And that is what that post meant. Like I said, I don't really need to prove empathy. But today, when I woke up and saw that news, it was like another justice, right? Because no matter what all our politicians do, I hope today is a stark, not a stark, that's the wrong term. I hope today is sort of like an insight into how they will be remembered. And guess what? I hate to kind of break it to you. They may not give a damn, because right now all they want to do is just enjoy this life and accumulate for their children. And their children's children and their children. I can say and their children's children until tomorrow. So yeah, say what you will. Anybody that knows me well knows that I see what's on my mind and I keep it moving. So, next on the list, T-Pain, Alpha.
Yes, I mean too. That's it. How are you? Thank you so much.
From my president.
Well, I think it could be said that every person's legacy is mixed, but it depends then on the mixed, what constitutes that mixture. First, there's no doubt that maybe for more than 2 decades, he has raptured our, our mind, our emotion, this Baba Gaskia. So he had a legacy. His believers, his supporters, think he was perhaps the most Puritan of Nigerian leaders in terms of self-possession, self-dignity, discipline. And Nigeria is common to hear stories of expensive lifestyle, of grease, sleaze, and graft around Nigerian important political persons. But up until now, there are no such stories around. He lived simple. He lived provincial. I mean, provincial may be seen as a negative word, but in this sense, lived close to province. The values of a provincial person who is happy with his environment, left power, didn't set up any NGO before he came the second time, didn't speak on any big conference, spoke to Hausa, BBC and VOA. So a typical provincial person of dignity and honor. But the problem is when you leave the provincial and get to the widening landscape of multi-ethnic, multi-religious nation with complexes and social nuances, provincialism becomes a problem. And so the second coming as a president stretched him, and the verdict would be something close to he didn't quite get it done. So I think mixed legacy, that we can always say somehow this was a man who, as upright as he was in physique, he was so in his discipline, his courage, unrelenting in the beliefs he had, even those beliefs that many of us could see as partisan, ethnic, ethnocentric. But he probably said what he meant more than most politicians. And oftentimes he's described as a man of integrity. But if you define integrity in a more normative sense of integration, then his second coming quite exposed that he probably wasn't that man of integrity as such, but probably a man of discipline and Puritan value.
Sowore, Muhammadu Buhari slaughtered hundreds. I think it was referring to the Shiite group. Muhammadu Buhari slaughtered hundreds of Shiite men, women, and even children. He ordered soldiers of the Nigerian army to open fire on peaceful endsars protesters waving the Nigerian flag. He disappeared Dadiyata. Well, so says Sowore. And then he ordered the massacre of young Southeasterners whom he branded IPOB. He disobeyed court orders, jailed critics arbitrarily, destroyed the economy, and ruined everything he touched. And now, because he's dead, some people with selective memory want us to mourn or worship him. Shameful. No, we do not mourn tyrants, we remember their victims. No, we do not mourn tyrants, we remember their victims. Muhammadu Buhari has no soul. Oh my goodness. I mean, these were his words on his Instagram page only yesterday, and it was quite stunning, I must say. It was quite stunning with the way he has said it. I mean, he is not the only one who has been making comments regarding Buhari's stay in office. There are some other persons who made some comments that are quite a thing for us to watch out for. Let's see if we can grab a thing or two from Rinu Duala. Of course, she says that part of the reasons why she is not in her country today is because of Buhari. It says, quotes, "The evil Buhari committed against Southeasterners in his lifetime was unimaginable. He waged war against the Southeast. Both young and old were extrajudicially killed. The whole region was placed and is still under military siege, while he forgave terrorists in the north." It also continues by saying that the evil he committed against the Middle Belters, was genocidal in nature. Families were wiped out almost on a daily basis. Children, women, men slaughtered, and many displaced up till now in Benue, Kaduna, Plateau. The military will drop bombs on civilians and call it a mistake. Wow. She captured it there in her own words, and was quite touching. The way it's been placed. I mean, you could remember all those dark days, though. I mean, everybody remembers all these things that were done, right under our own noses. We also had the Buchi make comments in that regard. Let's see. Buchi made this comments. It says, "I know we all want to get preachy, but you cannot ask people who were negatively impacted by Buhari's presidency not to rejoice over his death. Real lives were lost, real people suffered, and real families endured extreme suffering. Buhari's life isn't more important than all the lives wasted as a result of his clueless governments. You cannot force legacy. How you live determines how people feel when you pass away. It's not wickedness. It is consequences." Wow. Tell us what you think in the comments. Would love to hear from you. We'd really, really love to hear from you from wherever you're watching us from. Tell us what you think. As usual, of course, you can send us a message on the number showing on the screen, or better still, just like Cosmos have done. You could send us a message. Muhammad Buhari's death means nothing to him. I'm sure that he's, from his name, he's a Southeasterner, and he probably must have felt the heat from that point of view, where he stated that it was really bad for him to have waged a war against the Southeasterners and ordering the shooting at Umpo. And there's a video of also going around, just before he's finished his administration in 2023, where he actually said if he had done anybody wrong, that they should forgive him. But again, it's not that easy. If you say that people should forgive you, what have you really done for them to forgive you? Power, they say, is transient. You're not going to stay in power forever. So many things, kept going through my mind as about this particular issue. The leaders that we have today in this country, do they know that they're going to die someday? Especially the ones that feel larger than life. Do they know that it takes nothing really for you to pass away? And when you pass away, the only thing that you will be remembered for are the things that you did, whether good or bad. I'm talking about the leaders today, the likes of Tinubu, the likes of Wike, and even the governors across board. when you look at what these guys do every single day, you tend to ask yourself whether they know that they are mortals and they could die at any point in time. I really don't know. Someone like Mwike will come and be boasting and be dancing just because, he won his predecessor in court. He does Thanksgiving and dances and feels larger than life, as if politics is the end of the world. The leaders that we have today, somebody actually said something yesterday. I think it was Isaac Fayoshe. He was saying something along the lines of, how can two former leaders of the country be taken to London for treatment? The likes of Nelson Mandela of South Africa actually died in South Africa. Why? Because he trusted the hospitals there. What does that tell you? It tells you that our today's leaders really must learn a thing or two from Nelson Mandela. Today's leaders don't look at the future. If you look at the amount of monies that is being paid for the presidential clinic, it's on the budget, and of course, once it's the budget, anything that has to do with the presidency has to be moved, has to be paid for. But if you see year upon year upon year, years gone by, every year you see a lot of budgets, a lot of monies, humongous amount of monies being budgeted for our budget, for the presidential clinic in Abuja, and yet no president uses that clinic. Then why do they keep budgeting monies for that particular clinic when every small headache that the president has, they want to fly abroad? Every small neck pain the president have, they want to fly abroad. And so why are we not even looking at building a very, very huge health facility that can take care of presidents, governors? Why must we always have to fly out every time just because we are privileged? And so when all these leaders fly out, what does that tell you? It tells you that they have failed to build the ones that they have. They have failed to put monies, into the ones that they have. It is just terrible. It's painful to watch. It's painful to see, but it's something that must be said. Every single governor that has small malaria will fly abroad. Every single president that has small headache will fly abroad. Anyone who has their kids, of course, are abroad. So it also gives them out as saying that they don't budget enough for a health facility. They don't budget enough for their own health facility, because if they do budget enough for the health facility, all of those treatments will be done in Nigeria. There is no governor that doesn't have governor clinic within the capital of their state, but no governor is treated in this country. No sitting governor is treated if he has an ailment or so. Is even ordinary checkup. None. And that's part of the reasons why they will refuse to even when they budget, they will not release the monies for the health facilities. It is terrible, really. I just thought that this is very important to put out. And, be it as it may, there are some persons who would criticize the likes of Sowore and Buchi for saying what they said. But, I mean, these are lived experiences. These are what exactly they felt at the time that he was here. But Buchi, captured it very well and very rightly so. I know we all want to get preachy, but you cannot ask people who were negatively impacted by Buhari's presidency not to rejoice over his death. Real lives were lost, real people suffered, and real families endured extreme suffering. Buhari's life isn't more important than all the lives wasted as a result of his clueless government. You can't force legacy. Oh, well, that point really grabbed me bad. You can't force legacy. Buhari's life isn't more important than all the lives wasted as a result of his clueless government. You can't force legacy. How you live determines how people feel when you pass away. It's not wickedness, it's consequences. OMG, this is really bad, I must say. And Rinu came on with hers. The evil he committed against Middle Belters was genocidal in nature. Families were wiped out almost on a daily basis. Children, women, men slaughtered, and many displaced up till now in Benue, Kaduna, and Plateau states. The military will drop bombs on southern Kaduna and say it's a mistake. And of course, she also captured what he allegedly did against Southeasterners. All right, let's put that out. The evil Buhari committed against Southeasterners in his lifetime was unimaginable. He waged war against the Southeast. Both young and old were extrajudicially killed. The whole region was placed and is still under military siege, while he forgave terrorists in the north. Let's look at what Sowore also said too. Let's see what we have here. Sowore, went down to the source and listed a couple of things that it's really paining him. I'm sure that he captured it in a way and manner that he thought best. Muhammadu Buhari slaughtered hundreds of Shiites, men, women, and even children. He ordered soldiers of the Nigerian army to open fire on peaceful NSARS protesters waving the Nigerian flag. He disappeared Dadiyata. He ordered the massacre of young Southeasterners whom he branded IPOB. He disobeyed court orders, jailed critics arbitrarily, destroyed the economy and ruined everything he touched. And now, because he's dead, some people will selective memory want us to mourn or worship him. Shameful. No, we do not mourn tyrants. Remember their victims. No, we do not mourn tyrants. Remember their victims. Muhammadu Buhari had no soul, he concluded. Really sad, I must say. Well, that's the size of the package for today. I hope to come back a little later because, of course, Buhari will be buried today, and we know there are several heads of state and, of course, their representative across the continent of Africa and around the world will be coming for that burial. I'm sure it's going to be live on different platforms, but we're going to be playing some excerpts for you if you are able to join us a little later. All right. We would remember this is the platform for you to basically follow when it comes to anything breaking news, and of course for you to contribute on the show. All right, contribute on the show 247. If it's breaking in the middle of the night, we're getting it. If it's breaking by 2 a.m., we're getting it. If it's breaking by 6 p.m., we're getting it, whether it is Nigerian or it's African or even anywhere around the world as it affects you. All right. Thank you so much for being part of the broadcast for today. We're back tomorrow at 7:30. But before that, remember that we could apparently come again a little later during the day to bring you up to speed on some of the latest development. I want to appreciate you once again for joining us. See you on the next one.